Previously on the Terraform Tiny House Hyperadobe build. Now let's get back to this build. It's been a couple months since we've gotten into this build, and I'm very excited that we're finally putting in the plumbing and getting ready for our floors to go in. So that's my project for the next week or two. I want to take you guys around and show you guys what we have done since our last video. All right, so first thing out here is we got some temporary rainwater collection put up, even though we didn't really have a monsoon season this year, but we were able to collect around 400 or 500 gallons of water. So that's something. We got our windows installed. I did a very bad job and let the sealant sit for too long, so I'm gonna end up having to redo some of that. And going inside, it is a mess. It is a construction site. The exciting thing I wanted to show you guys is our bathroom wall. So last time we did a video, I think we got this up to about right here, and that's been several months of just slowly plugging away at this, but this is pretty well done cob-wise. So we're starting on plaster work. You can see our span of metal wires to kind of like be able to wrap this all the way around. But yeah, we'll end up doing a concrete floor in here, a concrete drain in here. Today's project is getting this drain line in for our kitchen sink, getting the electrical to the center island, and getting all this cleared out so we can start getting a gravel pad down for our adobe floor that is coming soon. I screwed up. This is the day that I have been dreading for 2 years since we put in these railroad ties that are super toxic. And so this episode, we're fixing a potentially life-endangering screw-up on this build. For those of y'all who are new to the channel, we use these railroad ties all throughout this building because we saw another YouTuber, local homesteader, use them and say that they were safe and great and all that. I ended up getting really sick whenever we were cutting these down. Realized, did some research, that they are not good to use at all in any construction project, any landscaping project. Just don't even touch them, don't even look at them. The unfortunate thing is they're in our building, they are permanent. There's no way in hell we are moving this 250,000 pounds worth of dirt to get them out and put something new in, but I found a solution. We are using a product called CryoShield that basically was made for this exact purpose, but in old renovations where they use creosote soaked beams, because back in the day nothing was poisonous. We have that CryoShield and we're going to be applying that today. What I'm going to do first is take the angle grinder with a carving disc and clean up the surface so that way it's nice and smooth and even, and I'm getting all that rotted wood out. So that way that CryoShield could really apply and stick well. This is definitely as terrible as I expected it would be. It's just gross. And yeah, I'm not good at cleaning anyways, so challenge, but I'm gonna do it right. If it takes 2 days, it takes 2 days, but I don't want this VOC creosote junk in the house. So more scrubbing. I got as much ground down as I could. It's looking pretty good. I got a lot of the just gunk off of it and the pieces that were like breaking off, and so Next step is I've got some borax cleaner, some water, and all of these are getting super well scrubbed down, so that way Creo Shield will stick really nicely to it. I was also researching, and shellac was another option to prevent off-gassing, so I think we're going to do the Creo Shield, then a coat of shellac, then plaster on top of that. Yeah, that Creo Shield was like $300 for a gallon, so it better work. Gross. So much fun. Alright, so we're on to the next step. All of these are cleaned and they've been drying out for an hour or so. Went to lunch, and now we have to spray on the Creo Shield. So this is a new process for me, but it's kind of a mix of like a 2-part resin kind of thing mixed with water that then goes into a sprayer, and we're going to do just as many coats as we can get on this. So we're doing 4 parts of this goop. This is really an interesting substance. Okay, we got our first layer on, and it's actually kind of feeling better in here. Weirdly, it's not completely dried yet, but it seems to be helping kind of capture that smell, which is good. So I'm gonna let this dry. I did a pretty thick coat this first layer, so I'm gonna let this dry, come back and probably do 2 more coats. Next up, we've got some sealer. So you can see, especially in here, there's these pretty big gaps where we kind of butted them up. But just gonna get this all foamed up. I think on the inside here, we're gonna totally seal and plaster and everything just to add like redundancy on redundancy on redundancy of sealing in these railroad ties. Alright, we're wrapping up day 1 of this. Mostly I'm just tired of wearing full hazmat suit and respirator. So I'm gonna let these dry overnight. I did 2 coats on here, but I do think it will probably be best if this fully cures overnight. Thank you guys for joining us on this build. If you want to see more of this Hyperadobe build, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got videos coming out every single Sunday for y'all. If you want to see the rest of this build from start to where we are now, I've got 2 videos queued up for you right now. Thank you guys for watching, and go build something cool.